This week we'll be talking about writing systems and literacy. Let's begin by defining what a writing system is. A writing system is a systematic way of representing the sounds, syllables, or words of a language, the spoken component of a language in most cases, by visual signs. And writing systems are also called orthographies. Complete writing systems allow you to record anything that you can say in a language. There are three basic approaches to writing systems that have been invented. The first, as we know, is alphabetic, where graphic signs stand for individual sounds, as in ABC. The second is what's called a syllabic writing system, and in this case, the signs stand for clusters of sounds like guo, which we call syllables. And finally, we have the logographic writing system, in which the signs represent entire words, as in many Egyptian hieroglyphs, or just meaningful parts of words like ing, so that carries meaning. These are called morphemes. Even though I've broken this down for you into three different types of writing, many different writing systems incorporate other types of writing systems into them. So, for example, there are no purely logographic writing systems. Chinese is the most logographic of all the modern writing systems, and yet it too incorporates signs that represent sounds and not just the words of the language. Some alphabets have signs for both consonants and vowels, while others only have signs for consonants. And some of these use special marks called diacritics to indicate where the vowels are. And sometimes these systems are called consonantals rather than alphabets. And there are many different alphabetic systems, including our own, which can be traced back to the Phoenicians. Syllabaries use signs to represent, again, clusters of sound called syllables, like gua. Japanese uses two types of syllabaries for different situations. One of the most famous syllabaries was created relatively recently by Sequoyah, a member of the Cherokee Nation, in 1821. Previously, Cherokee was a completely oral language having no writing system. Sequoyah borrowed some signs from English, but assigned them to Cherokee syllables. He got his idea as a silversmith who was interacting with some white traders, and he called the writing that the traders used talking leaves and set out to create one for his own language, his native language. Not everyone at first was behind him, and he was even suspected of witchcraft by his wife because he would neglect all his other responsibilities, like taking care of the farm. He eventually demonstrated the usefulness of his syllabary, and it was eventually adopted by Cherokee newspapers and increased literacy in the Cherokee Nation dramatically. And here's just a look at Sequoyah and his syllabary. Some languages don't lend themselves well to a syllabary because so many syllables are possible. Languages that tend to have a consonant-vowel pattern work the best for syllabaries. English, we would have to have lots and lots of different signs for syllables like SCR, as in scratch, so skr would have to be a syllable, along with per, ber, ker, der, fer, ger, on and on. And you can see where the usefulness of a syllabary would be reduced because you'd have so many signs representing all the different possible syllables. And finally, there's logographic systems. Again, no writing system, modern or ancient, consists solely of logograms, or those signs that represent words. And of course, alphabets and syllabaries often incorporate logograms into their systems as well. Our numbers are essentially logograms and other signs like the @ sign because they stand for an entire word. When we use text speak, like 2 pies for you, these are really just logograms entering into our alphabetic system. Even the sign for second blends the logogram, meaning seco, and the alphabetic letters ND to make second. So when you think about it, we have a more complicated system than what we normally think. One reason why many logographic systems also have a sound component is that otherwise there would simply be too many signs to recognize. Chinese, again, is the most logographic of all the modern writing systems. However, again, it has a sound component that uses smaller units like syllables. Literate Chinese recognize about 3,000 signs in order to read a newspaper. That's a lot of signs.